Our nation is in very serious trouble, and it's time for the Republican establishment to stop wasting time and resources trying to push weak and ineffective rhinos and never-Trumpers that nobody wants and nobody's going to vote for.
President Trump last night counter-programming the NBC network Republican debate. Why did NBC have the debate? That's the question. Oh, it's because the RNC is dumb and has no idea what's going on in the country. Insulated from it all, I suppose. Could happen if you grew up in the Romney household. Yeah, it's a very well-to-do. Got a lot of buffers, like the Corleone family. Pretty extraordinary stuff. Well, happy Thursday to you, and welcome back. We remain at 888-630-9625. 888-630-9625 is the telephone number here. And the two big stories that I'm talking about today, the debate last night and President Trump counter-programming. And then today there is a nationwide walkout. Schools, campuses, the lunatic left is out there. Yesterday, the pro-Palestinian, anti-Israeli, anti-Semites mobbed corporate headquarters for BlackRock in New York with their banners, all these professionally made banners, and they're Free Palestine, and these angry, wild-eyed people, mostly in their 20s, but not entirely, screaming and yelling Hamas chants. They're not very bright people. They've been brainwashed. They've been indoctrinated. And they have no idea what is going on in the real world. They're Democrats. This is the Democrat Party base. Pretty amazing stuff. Now, I want to get right into the debate last night with some of what was said, some of the back and forth. The news media, of course, doing their duty to smear Republicans. Doesn't matter what you said. They'll cherry pick. They'll selectively edit. They'll use a number of ellipses. That's a plural for ellipsis. And Joe Biden thinks it's called period when he sees an ellipsis in the teleprompter. But never mind that. The Biden campaign, here's The Hill, a newspaper allegedly in Washington, D.C., with the headline, Biden campaign pans GOP debate. Quote, party of losers, end quote. The Hill, that's the headline. Now, that was given to them by Vivek Ramiswami, who, talking about the elections that were held in a variety of states across the country on Tuesday, and the not-so-great results. And Vivek Ramaswamy did use the turn of phrase, party of losers, and so that gives the leftists that are working at the Hill in Washington, D.C., and it's a little bit of a mixed bag there at the Hill, but it gives Jared Gans the opportunity to selectively edit a turn of phrase and turn into a headline. And the White House, the Democrat Biden White House, the opportunity to use it as their, throw it back in their faces response, right? The Biden campaign panned the Republican Party as a, quote, party of losers, end quote, following the third GOP presidential debate Wednesday night. Biden campaign manager Julie Chavez Rodriguez. Julie Chavez Rodriguez is the granddaughter of the labor leader Cesar Chavez with the grapes boycott from decades ago. Julie Chavez Rodriguez, granddaughter Cesar Chavez, said in a statement that the party would normally reflect and change its course after losing an election, referring to Tuesday's elections in which Republicans had a disappointing performance. And then quoting, but in Donald Trump's MAGA Republican Party, they've really effectively, I think, turned MAGA into a slur. This is their main slur. Because they don't believe Make America Great Again is a good idea. They don't believe America was ever great in the first place. They've been indoctrinated and brainwashed by professional leftists. And so they grow up, and she grew up in a leftist household, of course. But in Donald Trump's MAGA Republican Party, apparently you doubled down on the same extreme agenda that was soundly rejected last night in elections across the country, said the granddaughter of Cesar Chavez. That's what we witnessed tonight. That's talking about the debate now. That's what we witnessed tonight. The entire Republican field once again embraced Donald Trump's losing, and that's not true, and extreme MAGA agenda of banning abortion. That's a lie. Cutting Social Security. That's a lie. And Medicare. That's a lie. And rigging the economy for the ultra-wealthy. That's a lie. At the expense of working Americans. That's a lie. But at least it's Bolshevism in modern America. Then Chavez Rodriguez referenced a statement that Vivek Ramaswamy made about the state of the GOP during the debate, saying, the only thing that the American people agree with these MAGA Republicans is on their extreme agenda and the left reeling from a, quote, party of losers, lifting the Vivek Ramaswamy line, or at least a part of it. So that is one story. And this is the news media coverage that you get from the mainstream media when the Republicans hold a debate. The panhandler broadcasting system, radical left-wing extremists, they can't wait to exterminate 40% of the black population again this year in the womb at taxpayer expense. GOP candidates in debate bash their own party for 2023 election results. That's the headline from the panhandler broadcasting system, PBS. Candidates used their party's poor performance in Tuesday's election as a punching bag at the start of the debate. We become a party of losers, Vivek Ramaswamy said. See how this goes? I'm sick of Republicans losing, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said. For each of them, it was a chance to pitch himself as the antidote for what ails Republicans. And this is the panhandler broadcasting system using the cut and paste from the Associated Press because it's easier. Mother Jones, radical left-wing and perfectly mainstream Democrat Party publication, quote, you're just scum, end quote. That's the headline from Mother Jones, left-wingers. GOP debate melts down in TikTok melee. Well, there was this TikTok moment once again. It was Vivek Ramaswamy taking a shot at Nikki Haley and also at Ron DeSantis, slightly veiled perhaps. But the smears, the slanders, this is what you get. The Washington Post, Haley slams Ramaswamy for citing her daughter's TikTok use in Republican debate. That's the actual headline. It's the Washington Post coverage of the debate. Pretty amazing stuff. And then Vivek, this is Mediaite, more left-wingers. Vivek Ramaswamy erupts on RNC, NBC, Kristen Welker. And he did take shots at NBC. It was early on in the debate, and it was probably his best moment all night, taking shots at the media. And then another Mediaite story. Vivek Ramaswamy claims Ukraine was led by a, quote, Nazi, end quote. You know, you guys got to be suspicious when they have one word in quotation marks. That's a red flag journalistically. Vivek Ramaswamy claims Ukraine is led by a Nazi president. That's not actually what he said. But all of the media is pitching that line today anyway. He was referring to an event in Canada at the parliament there where they brought a Nazi out and praised him. And Vivek Ramaswamy made reference to that last night, and the media has bent that out of shape, tortured it for their own purposes. And then Mediaite, DeSantis praises NBC moderators for a, quote, good job, end quote, says debate was more valuable than Fox Business event. So we've got that. Now, with all of that said, and your news media teeing it up for us, let's go to some audio. And this is, in fact, Vivek's most quotable moment last night. Soundbite number one, Vivek Ramaswamy at the big NBC candidates debate last night out of Miami, Florida.
I think there's something deeper going on in the Republican Party here, and I am upset about what happened last night. We've become a party of losers at the end of the day. It was a cancer in the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ronna McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you.
Now, he was trying real hard last night, and his best moment was going after NBC and the news media people. And I, generally speaking, I have positive thoughts about Vivek Ramiswami. He's an intelligent guy. He's well-spoken, better than Kevin McCarthy. But last night he went off the rails a couple of times, and you should, you really should know if you're going to be in big league politics that you shouldn't feed the news media the lines that they want to use to describe the Republican Party and to describe and to define you. He's kind of a newcomer. He's 37 years old. He's not a seasoned political actor. But who wants a seasoned political actor? Honestly. And he called out Ronna Romney McDaniel good, said the Republicans were trounced on Tuesday night before last. And he said, we've become a party of losers. And attacked Ronna Romney McDaniel. Lost in 2018, 2020, 2022, and got trounced 2023. There is a good argument to be made that that is the case. And they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to message. They don't know how to make television ads and create television campaigns. And it is frustrating if you're paying attention and you'd like America to survive. It can be very frustrating indeed. Now, there was a very good moment, and this is the good moment. It was early on. It was the first text I sent Michael Piercy last night when I was watching the debate about this moment. I think it was the first good moment. And Vivek came loaded for this one, with this one, and he was eager to roll it out, and it was pretty good. Going after the NBC anchors who were hosting this, and then they had, as I explained yesterday, they had the also ran in Hugh Hewitt, who was there at the table too, but NBC themselves did not describe him as a moderator when they put out because he's we got him over here for political reasons, right? But here's Vivek last night going after the NBC so-called moderators.
Look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk. We'd have 10 times the viewership, asking questions that GOP primary voters actually care about and bringing more people into our party. Do you think the Democrats, and we've got Kristen Welker here, do you think the Democrats would actually hire Greg Gutfeld to host a Democratic debate? They wouldn't do it. And so the fact of the matter is, Kristen, I'm going to use this time because this is actually about you in the media and the corrupt media establishment. Ask you, the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that you pushed on this network for years, was that real or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go. Mr. Ross, this is how we get our country back. We need accountability because this media rigged the 2016 election. They rigged the 2020 election with the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Mr. Ramaswamy,
and they're going to rig this election.
Your time is up.
Accountability.
Let me turn to Governor Christie.
Now that was a good moment. That was great. I was loving it. I had a cold beer in front of me. I had a can poured into a glass of my my ultra right beer. Have you looked at the ultra right beer? It's great. I get now the nice people at Ultra Right have sent me cases of, now it's a friend. I know one of the people involved with Ultra Right beer, but I'm not drinking Bud Light anymore. Drinking a lot of different beers, but the Ultra Right is, that was the beer in front of me when I was watching the the debate last night. Ultra Right. It's, if you used to drink Bud Light, it's a very good beer. It's great. Ultra Right. You mean Ultra Light? No, I mean Ultra Right beer. Delicious, new formula, wonderful beer. But that was a great moment for Vivek. Let's have Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk moderating the debate instead of Kristen Welker. So you think the Democrats would have Greg Gutfeld from Fox News hosting their debate? Of course not. the corrupt media establishment. Great moment. You rigged the 2016 election. You rigged the 2020 election with Twitter and Facebook and the New York Post and the laptop. And you're going to rig this one, too. Now, that was a great moment for Vivek Ramiswamy. It may be the pinnacle of his political career for his entire life. That remains to be seen.
Was that real, or was that Hillary Clinton made up disinformation? Answer the question. Go.
Hey, it's Chris Plant. Excited to tell you about our July 2024 Listener Sea Cruise. We'll be sailing around the British Isles, visiting Scotland and Ireland. Please join us. Book by this July 31st for extra savings. Visit ChrisPlantCruise.com. The Democrats are now trying to furiously get abortion ballot initiatives on the ballot in all of their key swing states in Florida and Nevada and Arizona and beyond. The abortion thing works so well for them. They speak Satan talk, the Democrats, that they want to get ballot initiatives on as many state ballots next year as they can, because abortion, the organ harvest, will continue until morale improves. And also, we just learned that the next GOP primary debate has been announced, and it will be held at the University of Alabama at Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Why the University of Alabama? Do you think you're going to win that state anyway? And it will be hosted by the Communist Party of California. Not really. It's going to be hosted by News Nation. News Nation, which is a national news thing of sorts that took over WGN. And it will be hosted by Megyn Kelly, formerly of Fox News, who has a podcast now. And I always like Megyn Kelly. And by Elizabeth Vargas. Wasn't she ABC News for a long, long time? I think that's correct. The debate's three moderators will be News Nation anchor Elizabeth Vargas, mainstream media. I believe that News Nation took over WGN, the Chicago superstation, and turned it into a 24-hour news thing. And they hired people like Chris Cuomo. Didn't Chris Cuomo go over there? I wonder if he's groped Elizabeth Vargas. We should email and ask. Debate's three moderators will be News Nation anchor Elizabeth Vargas, Washington Free Beacon editor-in-chief Eliana Johnson, and the Washington Free Beacon is a great organization, and Sirius XM host Megyn Kelly, formerly of the Fox News channel. I was, when she was on Fox News, I was on her show once or twice a week for a long, long time. And I always liked Megyn Kelly very much. And she's pretty straightforward. She's the podcast. My best girl occasionally listens to her podcasts when we're in the car and stuff. And my best girl likes her. So I like her. I think I neglected to mention the date of the next candidates debate. There will be no Democrat debates, because the brain-damaged sock puppet living in the White House couldn't debate his laundry guy and come out well. So News Nation, December 6th, the day before Pearl Harbor Day. Probably not a Democrat left in the country that gets that reference. What do you think? December 6th, next debate, University of Alabama, at the Frank Moody Music Building in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And Eliana Johnson, editor-in-chief at the Free Beacon. I bet she's wonderful. Megyn Kelly, I think she'll be great. And Elizabeth Vargas, formerly of ABC News. You get what you pay for. ABC 2020, ABC World News Tonight. Then where'd she go? She went to America's Most Wanted. That's more fun, I think. That show's more fun. December 6th. And it'll be on News Nation, so you can start looking through your cable guide now, your cable lineup now, to see if you can find News Nation on there. And, make a little Post-it note. Put it on the back of your TV. So when December 6th rolls around, you can say, oh, yeah, what channel is News Nation on again? What, you don't tune in every night for the, for the Fredo Cuomo hour? No, I don't. Yeah, so Vivek Ramiswami, that was the big, he stirred up some, controversy with we're the party of losers, and the news media is using that. And attacking the Republican Party for having this, not admirable record, 2018, 2020, 2022, 2023. And he's right about that. I'm not sure he finessed the situation very well, but he went after Romney McDaniel, and talked about the trouncing on Tuesday, which is at least pretty much right. We become a party of losers. And then he rightly attacked Kristen Welker and mocked the fact that Romney McDaniel decided to get into bed with NBC News for the Republican debate, which is a very, very bad idea. Suggested maybe Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk would be better moderators, have better ratings, and get a fair shake. It's true, he talked about the corrupt media establishment, and he threw it in her face. Said, you guys were selling this Russian collusion Hillary dossier lie for years. And, then he threw it and, answer. Now, it got maybe a little bit petulant, but when you're running for president, but it was a good moment in its own way. So we got that. Now let's go to Hugh Hewitt, who is a host of a radio show on the Salem Broadcast Network. And I said something nice about Hugh Hewitt yesterday. I've met him a couple of times. I got to say, I don't listen to his show or anything, but I've been made aware in the past that he's been listening to our show, and he's lifted things from our show, as most radio hosts do, let's be honest, but that he's credited our humble radio broadcast when lifting things from our show that were unique to our show. And for that, I had a positive view of him. Now, I mentioned him yesterday, and I was not bombarded, but I was hit multiple sides at the same time, people straightening me out on Hugh Hewitt, not being the best conservative, anti-Trump, has said things about January 6th and Ashley Babbitt, who was shot to death that day for the alleged crime of trespassing after perhaps being waved into the Capitol by smiling U.S. Capitol police officers, and then shot to death by one without warning after 12 years in the United States Air Force, but pay no attention to any of that stuff. But in any case, Hugh Hewitt was the third wheel last night. Lester Holt and Kristen Welker and Hugh Hewitt, so they could say, see, we've got a conservative over here. And that makes us fair and balanced, right? And it was kind of awkward. The whole event was kind of awkward. I was paying attention, and I was doing other things at the same time, reading and drinking my ultra-right beer. And I had some pizza. And it was kind of nice, my best girl and I. And we're back. We no longer have any house guests. So it was we have had a house guest for the last week. And that was nice. It was great. But it was nice to, have our apartment back to ourselves again last night as well. And it was a beautiful evening. Windows open, nice breeze, beautiful sky. It was great. All right, Hugh Hewitt last night. This is another moment that has caused a lot of controversy. Asking Vivek Ramiswami about TikTok, and they were big on banning TikTok. This was a big topic last night. I assume NBC believes it will be detrimental to the Republican Party to talk about banning TikTok.
How do you get TikTok banned if you use it?
Well, I want to laugh at why Nikki Haley didn't answer your question, which is about looking at families in the eye. In the last debate, she made fun of me for actually joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Adult daughter. The next generation
out of your
of
voice.
Americans are using it. And that's actually the point. You have her supporters propping her up. That's fine. Here's the truth.
You're just
the easy
scum.
answer is actually to say
You're
that we're just going to
scum.
ban one app.
Now, Nikki Haley in the middle of that said, "You're scum." Wow. That's a... Now, it was, I think, kind of a dumb thing to bring. It's an adult daughter, but it led to more headlines. The headline, "You're just scum, Mother Jones, left-winger." But, this is what they're all chuckling about in the CNN newsroom and all that stuff. GOP debate melts down in TikTok melee. That's a vast overstatement, of course.
Here's the truth. The easy answer is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app.
You're just scum. She became angry. It
was a little like Will Smith. It was like, keep my daughter's name out of your mouth.
Well, it was, and that's it was kind of a weird phrasing. Keep my
last debate, she
daughter's
made
name
fun
out
of
of
me for
your
actually
voice.
joining TikTok while her own daughter was actually using the app for a long time. So you might want to take care of your family first.
Leave my daughter out of your voice.
Leave my daughter out of your voice. Kind of strange phrasing, but okay. And it was reminiscent of Will Smith. Leave my wife's name out of your mouth, right? Out of your mouth. And then Will Smith killed Chris Rock with a machete that he got from MS-13. Not really, but he did walk up and slap him real hard. That also was a bad idea. And then more headlines from Vivek Ramiswami talking about Ukraine, and it was a minor topic of conversation, and a couple of Republicans said, well, it'd be useful to know where the money was being spent, since it's our money, in theory. We're just putting it on the tab, of course, because we don't pay our bills in the United States anymore. And we might want to start thinking about doing something about that. $33 trillion in debt take more than 1 million years to pay off if we started paying it off, which we're not doing. At $1 a second, it'd take more than 1 million years to pay it off. And we're not even talking about it. We don't have a media that talks about it. We don't have Republicans or Democrats that talk about it. We'll just pass it on to the kids. Screw them, I'll be dead and gone, So here's Vivek, and he, now I should share with you the headlines before you hear what he said. He didn't say it perfectly, but Vivek Ramiswami claims Ukraine is led by a Nazi president. Now, that's not actually what he said, but that doesn't matter because it might be interpreted that way if you tortured what he said into something that he didn't say. It's one of my old sayings. I have a lot of great old sayings. Every now and then I'm reminded of how many great old sayings that I have. One of them is, this is a practice. I've been using this for years and years. The Democrats take what you've said, they change it into something you didn't say, and then they attack you for what you didn't say. Right? Just take what you said, change it till it's not something you said. Then they attack you for what you didn't say. And that's the case here, although he may have been slightly inartful in his phrasing. Vivek Ramaswamy talking about our support of Ukraine and Volodymyr Zelensky. And you may remember there was a moment when Zelensky was brought to Canada, or he went to Canada. And they had a let's praise Volodymyr Zelensky in the Parliament of Canada moment. And when they were praising and clapping and stuff, here's the headline from Yahoo News at the time. It was September 26th of 2023. A picture of Zelensky dressed in green, smiling and waving and standing, and everybody's cheering him. And the headline is, how the Canadians had Zelensky accidentally praise a Nazi hero in Ottawa, giving Russian propaganda a boost. And they put the word hero in quotation marks. Yaroslav Hunka fought with the Waffen SS division during World War II and later moved to Canada. Now, he was a Ukrainian, and in World War II, he joined a Nazi Waffen SS unit, among the worst of the worst. And he, as this unit was notorious for murdering people in Poland, and it's a terrible. And then the man, after the war, emigrated to Canada, and he's been living there in peace. But since he's a Ukrainian, they brought him into the parliament, and he got a standing ovation. The Nazi got a standing ovation. So this is what Vivek is making reference to, presumably. There are other Nazi issues having to do with Ukraine as well. But here's Vivek, and it leads to all these fake headlines because the Democrats will take what you said, turn it into something you didn't say, then attack you for what you didn't say.
Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy.
True.
This is a country that has banned 11 opposition parties.
True.
It has consolidated all media into one state TV media arm.
Like
That's
here.
not democratic.
True.
It has threatened not to hold elections this year unless the U.S. forks over more money. That is not democratic. It has celebrated a Nazi in its ranks, the comedian in cargo pants, a man called Zelensky, doing it in their own ranks. That is not democratic.
Now, in their own ranks, see, this Nazi in Canada, not in their own ranks, but there was this Nazi praise moment in Canada. Oops, it was an accident. Everybody's real sorry, except the Nazi. He had a good time. And, there are other Nazi and pro-Nazi people in Ukraine, and it has been a bit of an issue that the news media has largely swept under the rug. Remarkable. Now, Vivek and Nikki Haley with a little bit of back and forth. Nikki Haley was the United States ambassador to the United Nations at one point, as you doubtless recall. And then when she left the government service, she got a big job and made a bunch of money. And it had to do, her new job, with, the military-industrial complex, let's say.
The fact of the matter is the Republican Party is not that much better. You have the likes of Nikki Haley, who stepped down from her time at the UN. Bankrupt or in debt was her family. Then she becomes a military contractor. She joins the board of Boeing and otherwise, and is now a multimillionaire. So I think that that's wrong when Republicans do it or Democrats do it. That's the choice we face. Do you want a leader from a different generation who's going to put this country first? Or do you want Dick Cheney in 3-inch heels?
All right, Mr.
In which case, we've got two of them on stage
Mr.
tonight.
Ramaswamy, thank you.
In which case, we've got two of them tonight. He's talking about Ron DeSantis, who is reportedly wearing lifts and or cowboy boots or cowboy-style boots because people say that he's insecure about his lack of stature, his actual height. So he's been wearing lifts in his shoes, according to multiple reports, and to make him appear taller. And so because we got two of them here tonight, right? Now, Nikki Haley became a director at Boeing in 2019. Then she stepped down about a year later. She got about $300,000 in cash and stock, which is nice, for being on the board of directors. It's not as good a deal as Hunter Biden gets. Subpoenas for Hunter Biden and James Biden and one of their business associates went out yesterday from the House of Representatives as well. The media is angry. But Nikki Haley remains on the board of the United Homes Group. Provided her with, $250,000 there. It's good to be on these boards. But she did end up, according to Forbes magazine, with about $8 million. And she helped bail out her parents, Forbes magazine says. Now, got nothing against people making a living, being on boards, and Boeing is a great corporation, and being on the side of Western civilization is good, and people make money doing that. And she's a former ambassador and member of Congress and all this stuff, so she's got a lot going for her. And I don't begrudge her that at all. The Obamas got, what do they get, $40 million or $50 million from Newsmax for doing nothing that anybody can see.
From Netflix, not Newsmax.
Oh, sorry, from Netflix. I apologize. I got Newsmax on the brain. From, thank you. Netflix to make what? Nobody knows. A little plug for Newsmax there. My show on Newsmax is on at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. Be there. Still a work in progress. Everything is always a work in progress. Michael Piercy is still a work in progress. That's for sure. That's we got more. We've got things being thrown back and forth. And Tim Scott, who's great. Ron DeSantis. Then we've got President Trump because he was counter-programming as well. And we got indictments for the Biden family. And then the crystal-knocked Day of Jihad the Democrat Party is hosting. It's today. All the kids are walking out of school. Sieg Heil, meine Schatzi. You know, I was talking to my friend Marty about the debate, and Marty made a great point. He said, the reason they brought in Hugh Hewitt from the outside, from Salem, is because, and I just said this, they want to create the perception of balance, right? Which is a left-handed way of confessing, of admitting that they are not fair and balanced, and that they don't have anyone at NBC that they could call on to provide that balance. So they had to go outside of NBC and get Hugh Hewitt from Salem. Didn't necessarily make the best pick, and that way they can falsely claim that they provided some measure of balance. And Michael Piercy pointed out, it's not as if there's a conservative at NBC that would raise their hand and say, I can play that role, because that'd be your last contract at NBC. That'd be the end of you, which proves everything you need to know. It just proves that the perception is the reality. That's a left-wing outlet, but it's great stuff. So it is a way of NBC admitting they can't provide balance. They had to go outside to find someone they found acceptable, and they went to Salem, and that proves that NBC is just corrupt. Also, we've got, speaking of corrupt, we've got, CNN and the Associated Press and others have been using these photographers in Israel, and it turns out they're jihadis, and they were in on the attack on October 7th. And now CNN has suspended a sentence, suspended the photographer that they use in the region because it turns out he and other Palestinian, Arab, Muslim photographers used by American media companies were with the jihadis when they attacked Israel on October 7th and butchered and raped and kidnapped those people. And these are at least freelance, part-time employees of CNN, the Associated Press, and other so-called mainstream news media outlets, right? And when this was discovered, first of all, where are the photos and the videos? Because you got these employees of CNN and the Associated Press that were in on it because they were with the jihadi groups. They knew about it ahead of time. They were with them. They were documenting it, apparently for the jihad. It all dovetails perfectly with today's Kristallnacht revisited observances.